Good morning. Today is Thursday, 23rd April 2020. Unit 5 is SMART. Volume is strength. Unit 5 is SMART. Expect learning, read and common sense and putting into practice the regular and irregular verb. Apply the grammar according to the defined tense, developing the sense mentioned in the exercise. The objective is I can say how much I know about a person. Okay? Should and must. Should and must. Let's see the grammar focus. Okay? What is should and what is must? As an auxiliary verb is decided that characteristics are manners. This is the characteristics number 5. Number 1 is followed by an infinitive verb without to, except, be able to, need to, have to, and ought to. Number 2 is the third person singular, thus not verb is in the present simple. Number 3 is you do not need to add the auxiliary do and does for the interrogative and negative form. The next, it does not have component or progressive time. Next, it has no infinitive. Okay, this is the 5 characteristics the auxiliary verb should. Okay, next, should. Should is I can be used. Okay, how to use is to spread something that is problem. Okay, look at the example. John shall be here by 2 p.m. En Spanish say, John debería venir aquí a las 14 horas. Next is, he shall be bringing Jennifer with him. En Spanish say, él debe traer a Jennifer con él. Okay? And to ask for a gift advance. Okay? Look at the example. Shall we turn left at this street? Spanish. Giramos a la izquierda en esta calle. Next, example 2. You shall be getting ready for work. En Spanish say, debes estar listo o lista para el trabajo. Okay? Next, to demonstrate the obligation, give advance or even an opinion. Look at the example again. You should stop eating fast food. En Spanish say, deberías dejar de comer comida rápida. Okay? Next, you should go for walks more after. And Spanish say, deberías caminar más a menudo. Okay? The next example is, we shall go to the park tomorrow. And Spanish say, deberíamos ir al parque mañana. Okay, guys, you see how to use shall. How to use shall is to express something that is a problem, or to ask for a given advance, and to demonstrate the obligation, give advance, or even an opinion. Okay, this is your examples. Your examples is in English and Spanish. Okay, next, shall and ought to is shall and ought to have similar meaning and use it. Ought to is more formal and less common than should. Okay? Look at the examples. We should clean up the garden. And another example is we ought to clean up the garden. Okay? Right here say should is much more common in negative and question than ought to. Let's see. Shall we keep a seat for Margaret? In Spanish say more common than ought we to keep a seat. And the answer say we shouldn't speak to his parent in that way. Is more common than he and ought not to speak. Okay, this is the shall and ought to. Okay, is two different. Okay, next. The next is how to use the verb modal should. Okay, how to use the verb modal should. Look at right here. Here are some examples of sense with should for you to learn some uses. Okay, you need to see the some examples, the sense with should for you to learn some usage. Look at right here is the modal verb should in affirmative. Okay, the modal verb, the should is affirmative. Let's see the example. See, should is para dar un consejo. The should is para dar un consejo. See, let's see the example. You should go to the doctor as soon as possible. Okay? And Spanish say, deberías ir al doctor lo antes posible. Okay? This is the modal verb should in affirmative. Let's see the modal verb should in a negative. The negative is should para dar una recomendación. Okay? And the example say, you should not eat junk food. This is my example. And Spanish say, no deberías comer comida chatarra. Okay? This is the modal verb should and negative. Next, and modal verb should in a negative is should para pedir una opinión. Okay? And a question, the example say, should I lose weight? And in Spanish say, deberías bajar de peso. Okay, you see this is how to use the verb modal should and a modal verb should in affirmative, a modal verb should in a negative, and a modal verb should and interrogative. And you see the examples, okay? Next is the grammar instruction. The grammar instruction is formal affirmative, okay? Is subject plus should plus verb base form plus complement. See, this is the form affirmative. Let's see the examples in English and Spanish, okay? Is you should go to the doctor. Look at the example, see, and right here in the form affirmative is you as subject, should, and a verb form and complement, okay? Is the example is you should go to the doctor. Spanish is deberías ir al doctor. Example number 2 dice Ellen should talk to her husband more. And Spanish say, Helen debería hablar más con su esposo. And example number 3, they should stop smoking. And Spanish say, deberías dejar de fumar. Okay, this is the form affirmative. Okay, how to use the form. Next, form negative. The form negative have subject, should not is negative, or should not, plus verb-based form, plus complement. This is the form negative. How to use? Let's see the examples. Example number 1 in English is a negative. You shouldn't work too much. En Spanish say, no deberías trabajar demasiado. Example number 2, John shouldn't play football because he is not feeling well. En Spanish say, John no debería jugar fútbol porque no se siente bien. Example number 3 say, they shouldn't wear jeans to go to work. And example Spanish say, no deben usar jeans para ir a trabajar. Okay, this is the form negative and how to use an example in English and then in Spanish. Next, let's see the form interrogative. In a narrative, the form is the question word plus should plus subject plus verb-based form plus complement. Okay, this is the form interrogative. Let's see the questions, examples, and English and Spanish. Number 1 question, where should I study English? See? En Spanish say, ¿dónde debo estudiar inglés? Example number 2 question say, what should we do when there is an earthquake? And says Spanish, ¿qué debemos hacer cuando hay un terremoto? An example question say, should we buy a used or a new car? Spanish say, deberíamos comprar un auto nuevo o usado. Okay, this is the form interrogative and how to use, example in English and then in Spanish. Okay, must. The must means duty in the context of obligation. Look at the example. You must wash your hands before you eat. En Spanish say, tú debes lavarte las manos antes de comer. Okay? This is the must. The must is obligation. Let's see. The grammar of the verb must is a modal verb together with may, can, and etc. This means that they normally require another verb to complete the meaning. Okay, look at the examples. We must study for the chemistry test. And Spanish say, nosotros debemos estudiar para el examen de química. Okay, and this is the must is obligation. And how to use. The grammar of the verb is the best. The must. Must is a modal verb together with may or can. Okay? Let's see. Right here. The auxiliary must can express. Number 1 is the obligation, the duty. Look at the example. I must attend this meeting. Okay? Spanish say, debo o tengo que asistir a esta reunión. Another example say, he must pay his taxes before the end of the month. En Spanish say, tienes que pagar sus impuestos antes del fin de mes. Okay, this is obligation. Okay, and next is certainty or logical conclusion. Logical conclusion is, it is late. He must be at home now. Spanish say, ya es tarde. Debe de estar en casa ahora. The next is the hardware work fine. It must be a software problem. Spanish, el hardware funciona correctamente. Debe ser un problema del software. The next, it is negative form, mustn't always express prohibition. The example, you mustn't talk to a strange kid. Spanish, no debes hablar con el desconocido niño. Okay, this is the auxiliary must can express the obligation, logical conclusion, see, and negative form mustn't always express prohibition. Okay, grammatical instruction, affirmative and negative. Affirmative is subject plus must plus verb infinitive to and complement. And negative is subject plus must not plus verb infinitive to plus complement. Okay? And affirmative is I must do. And negative is I mustn't do. Affirmative, you must do. And negative, you mustn't do. And affirmative, he must do, he mustn't do. She must do, she mustn't do. It must do, it mustn't do. We must do, we mustn't do. And you must do, and you mustn't do. This is the affirmative and negative. Must, affirmative, and negative, must not. Interrogative is must plus subject plus verb infinitive to plus complete plus decide. This is interrogative and affirmative and negative. Affirmative is must I do, mustn't do. Must you do, mustn't you do. Must he do, mustn't he do. Must she do, mustn't she do. Must it do, mustn't it do. Must we do, mustn't we do. Must you do, and mustn't you do. This is an interrogative form. Okay? Positive and negative. How to use. Look at the example is affirmative, negative, and sense as the examples. The affirmative is you must hurry up. Spanish, debes apresurarte. Number 2 is she must pay for all the expense. En Spanish, debes pagar todos los gastos. Number 3, you must not worry. It's bad for your health. Spanish, no debes preocuparte. Es malo para tu salud. Okay, let's see. The negative sense is you mustn't be hungry. Tú no debes estar molesto. Number 2 is they mustn't go to the party. No debes ir a la fiesta. He must not talk like that. Él no debe hablar así. He must not play this game. Yo no debo jugar este juego. The next is interrogative sense. Interrogative sense is must she take the children with her to Houston? Es ella debe llevar a los niños con ella a Houston. Next, must he lend us the money which we need? Él debe prestarnos el dinero que necesitamos. Must she be back by noon? Ella debe de regresar para mediodía. Must she return later?